she's a grown ass woman. She's strong, independent, but also being very reserved because she has to because of her kid and also her heart.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go out in the world, right, men have to show up a certain way, women have to show up a certain way, right? Everyone has to show up a certain way. There's all these labels. It doesn't matter what you are, even if you're non-binary or trans. We're all trying to live by the societal view of like how we're supposed to show up, which is suffocating for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gets really hard for a lot of my people to like put themselves out there, Spence, is they don't even know what persona to use.
Right.
Do I dress like this? Do I hold back? And so I'll get so many clients that are neurodivergent that will not show any real authenticity. They won't talk. They'll be scared to tell them like any of the real stuff, and they'll present that they're like really fine and okay. That they don't have ADHD, anxiety, OCD, trauma, autism, right? They won't show those.
Right.
Because they don't want the other person to be like, oh, there's something wrong with you. There's too much baggage.
They don't want to get rejected.
They don't want to get rejected because of that.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of clients with a lot of trauma and like family, a lot of familyhood dynamics or like poverty issues.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to tell their partner about those issues ever because right then they're going to think that maybe, oh, you know, like father, like son, you know, like mother, like daughter. And like you go from a, so there's a lot of reasons why we hide a lot of things, those of us that are neurodivergent.
Right.
Neurotypicals too, but it's just very scary because you don't know why you're going to get rejected. So you hide.
Yeah.
Which is really tough because how do you actually really get to know and love the person that you want to be with if you're just showing them the mask? So this is when we always talk about masking. So I don't want to spend time really talking about that.
Yeah.
It's just really hard. And the cool thing is when people actually get to like be real and funny and like everyone wants to chill and laugh. Rarely will you get this bullshit in society today now. We're like, I need a high value man or woman. They just want to have a good time. And so Spence, I find myself working with all genders. But some of my women, they'll be looking for partners, this and that, right? And they're like, Nas, I just don't know. Like, what? Do they treat you good? Do you laugh? Do you smile? Like, what's good? They treat me magnificent, but it's not necessarily the job or the occupation that I wanted. And so we have to navigate what are our biases? What are we looking for? Financial status, right? And then also, like, how does that person make you feel?
Yeah.
And it's really hard for neurodivergent folks to understand how someone makes you feel. I got clients, Vince, and I ask them, so do you like them? I don't know. Okay. So I have to rephrase it in multiple different ways. And like, what does your body feel when you're around them? Is it a repulse, reclusive, or is it like you want to go to them? And then we'll slowly talk about like, did you like it when they held your hand? They're like, maybe, maybe not. Do you find yourself reaching for their hand when they reach out? You know, yeah, I find myself reaching out more. Oh, so maybe you do like it. Or maybe you're just getting used to it. So we start talking about like, do they feel grounded and calmer with certain people? Because they might not have the words. A lot of my folks really struggle with words. So we start looking at the body's issues and how they're like regulating. I got people now, man, that they can never see themselves breaking up with their partner because they're just so regulated. They're like dependent now. Yeah. And not like a bad dependent, like they just, that's their person. Like someone, a couple humans, but like when people break up, I'm like, you need co-regulation. As a neurodivergent, autistic, or ADHD, whatever it is. So I'm like, let's get a dog. Let's get a cat. I'll write you the letter. Someone recently pushed back on me. They were kind of mean. They're like, I'm not getting a cat. I'm like, bitch, calm down. I'll smack the shit out of you now. You know, bubble gonna shrimp your ass. And then they get a cat and it's like magnificent. They can sleep now. Probably don't need as much anxiety meds as they did before. Like, yes, my guy. Like, I told them to foster a cat first and they just fucking buy one from like a different country. I'm like, okay, you want a little
goddamn
autism, bro. You go all or nothing. So
yeah. 10 grand on this cat.
I'm like, damn, that's most I've ever spent on some Gucci.
I'll be a cat. I'll take a shit in a box. I don't care.
Oh my God. I have to say this
Give me
now.
10 grand. Give me that 10 grand.
Take a shit in a box. You're going to be someone's furry?
10 grand? I'll do it.
I'll shit in that box for you. I had this client the other day, man. They said that I didn't say it in the last podcast, it's too inappropriate, but we're just talking. And he's like, we're going through the autism screeners that's in the link tree. Please go check those out. A lot of people have been commenting on them. All the links are active. They work. Check them out. It's all free. Don't spend fucking $3 grand if you don't have to. Go use our resources. Spread the word. You know, give it to people. Therapists, everyone take it. And me and this person are going through it, and they're like, yeah, man, at parties, like, I just want to escape. Like, if there's a cat, like, and this is a masculine person, there's a cat, like, I'll just be like, I mean, that's my thing. He's like, I'll be chasing that pussy all around the room. And I'm like, my guy. And like, I was like, no.
Dirty fuck.
I know. And they're not a dirty fuck at all. Like, he's so fucking like asexual. So the joke was so fucking funny to me, bro. I was dead. I was like, you piece of shit. And they're like, I knew you'd like that. I was like, what? I'm not a pervert.
Wait a minute.
I know, I'm the pervert. Surprise.
Said it here.
Said it here. Informed consent. So we get this thing with neurodivergent folks is how do we know what we like and when? Really tough. So ask yourselves, try to figure it out. Don't just pay attention to thoughts, but also actions, somatic stuff.
Right.
You can see from his character, Shorzy, those of you that are neurodivergent, pay attention to how he acts. That's what me and Spencer are talking about.
Yeah.
Look at his facial expressions, his words, his voices, his affirmations. He keeps asking her out, like, to food. Hey, you want to try some miso ramen? What? What the fuck is that?
Ramen and miso soup. I don't
fucking know.
know.
But
Canadians.
I know. So I'm gonna pivot, and then there's the one scene where he's talking outside the pub.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, why do you still do this hockey? Like, you're the last person in, last person out. Like, I mean, you're old, you're degenerate pretty much. Like, bro, hang it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got into a fight at the pub. Everyone hated me. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But in hockey, they love me for this. It's like hockey in the ice is the only place I know I can be home and like celebrated and loved. Which is like the softer side in which it kind of falls for him in that moment. Everyone, Spence, doesn't matter what your neurotype is, just wants to be like valued and heard and affirmed. And for a lot of neurodivergent folks, that's hard to get. We're so othered all the time. It's hard to find out where you fit in. For you, Spence, being black and white, it's hard to, where do you fit in? College educated, where do you fit in?
I fit in with the weirdos.
I don't lie. Like, I never really fit in with anyone until I met like all my autistic friends. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
One of my first friends in elementary, I just saw they got married.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Cornelius.
Of course, there's Cornelius.
I know. Like, bro, he like black as hell, man. I love him to death. And then,
really? With
like,
the name Cornelius?
Oh my God. I mean, he's the one who had me on Dragon Ball Z back in the day. And like, I ain't talked to him. I rarely ever talked to him. Because like, this is like elementary school.
Soul Train.
Bruh. He's so autistic. I'm like, even my friend in elementary was autistic? Jesus. He's so autistic. Of
course he was.
So autistic, my guy. So autistic.
Should have saw the signs.
I seen the little fucking bow tie he had on for his wedding. I'm like, oh yeah, you're autistic as shit. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I know. He was fresh as hell.
Bow tie?
He was fresh, but it was tism. I almost sent you his photo. And him like, you would have been like, yeah, he's autistic.
Yeah. No, there he is.
Black man. I don't know why I had to say that.
Couldn't look anybody in the eyes. Just like,
yep.
He was up here.
You may kiss the bride, kisses her shoulder. Jesus. Why do we bully our own people?
I don't know.
We're horrible.
No.
I say the same shit to my clients. They have a great time. I think they do. I'm always like, is it good for you?
Get your balls tugged. It's fine.
Get your balls tugged. So I just think that's a really good moment, though, is his vulnerability in those moments makes her love him. Not in love, but she's like, hey, let's go home. Really awesome thing to see a very masculine man, Spencer, violent man, show realness and emotionality. One last story, and then we're going to kick it to a couple other topics. I go do these talks with men, these frat houses. I got a couple coming up April 6th, 2 of them back to back. And it's going to be awesome going to these frats, right? And like, no one wants to go into a frat, right? Because, it's a frat. It's frat boys, like, it's drunks, there's assault that goes on in there, right? Nuts and nasty shit, nasty motherfuckers in there, right? And then, but I go in there, and the boys are stuck to me like glue. And kind of reorganizing on how we look at mental health. And I know I have really a lot of privilege in there because I'm not like this little white girl that goes in there, because most therapists are little white girls, white women. And then I go in there, big boy talking shit. And then in every talk I ever do, Spence, I cry. You've seen me do talks. Like I'm a cry. I'll touch on a topic of depression, sadness, suicidality. Sometimes I'll talk on, grief. So I'll bring up mom or bro. And the only way to save people's lives is to show them your humanity. And, people get choked up when I talk. And so it's really awesome that after those talks, men will come up to me, thank me, right? I'll get emails. I remember one of the boys emailed. I know a lot of you are listening to this. So all the frat homies, shout out to y'all for having me keep coming back. Young man sends me an email. He said, dealt with anxiety, depression, and suicidality my entire life. I've never heard anyone talk like you about this stuff, about being really emotional. And like, that's what it is to be a man, also to be emotional. And he's like, honestly, dude, I that was like life-giving. He's like, I don't need any therapy. Like, I'm good right now. But like, to hear you talk about that and like to break with us, he's like, dude, I responded like, I got your back, man. Like, if you need anything, just let me know. But a real man can't cry and be emotional. And that's what we see with Shorzy. You can hold multiple identities and still be very masculine. You can hold multiple identities and still be very feminine. So I know we've been talking a lot about men. A lot of my women of color have to hold that shit in. I'm working with a lot of moms right now, Spence, a lot of autistic moms. Damn, you want to talk about some resilient motherfuckers right there. I'm like, I don't know how you do this.
Right.
I remember one time I was like, how come you don't cry in session? They're like, because I can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? Because if I do, it'll never stop. I'm like, Jesus, that's real shit. There's so many people with functional anxiety and depression out there, and vulnerability tends to be the key if you have supports. Love this show for the vulnerability he shows and the crying that he shows, which we're about to get into. Did you think that he was going to be risen up this girl like this and like be solely focused? Do you think he'd be like just a straight up jackass?
Jackass.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we just, obviously, I haven't seen the show and stuff like that until these scenes, but yeah, especially hockey players.
I know.
The biggest fucking, just the biggest hose you've ever seen.
The biggest dicks around.
That really, wait a minute. I don't know if I agree with that.
Have you seen the Collins? What?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I love doing
other people who play hockey too.
They do. They do.
Yeah. And I think once we talk about just like having that openness about people, and also he's an older guy. I think as we get older, we get softer.
We do.
And more willing to actually open up to certain people, because it's either we do it now or we're going to be alone all of our lives, essentially, or we're going to be in like a horrible relationship where we're not even communicating with the person that we're with, and then that just turns into something terrible, and something that we shouldn't be doing. So
facts.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop whoop.